Welcome to Painting with Michael Mills. I'm Michael Mills. Goal here is to make painting simple for you. Is what I'll do is I will share what I have learned from different artists, reading books, magazines, and a lot of trial and error. So the goal here today is get you through a painting that's pretty simple and will streamline the process for you. So we're going to paint this painting here. This is a photograph that I had took while me and my wife were at the beach. And this is a sunrise photo. So anyway, so I tinted the canvas earlier. And so this is acrylic, just like I just made an orange color with some red and yellow. And I added a glaze to it so it has some transparency to it. And so the process I like to do is I will sketch it out with a thin wash. We're going to paint thin to thick. We're going to focus on composition and color. So I start off thin, I'll do a sketch, and then from there we'll block in colors, and then I do some finishing touches. My finishing, I use a fine brush and a palette knife. And ideally we will create this right here. So the paints that I have today, I have titanium white, I have cad yellow, I just have a bright red, a French ultramarine blue, and then what I'm going to sketch in, this is a transparent red, it's an oxide red with the blue. Makes a nice grayish, you can make it warm or cool, so I'll show you that in a second, but I like to mix that and sketch. I have a burnt umber that we're going to be painting with, along with, I have some liquid impasto. My Italian friends like to use this because it's impasto. Anyway, so we use this because this helps dry it and keep your oils liquid. The drying time using this will dry your oil paints in a day or two. It'll make it sticky and tacky within 30 minutes to an hour. So you don't have to wait days to make changes to your painting. And that's also why we want to paint thin to thick, because it'll get tacky. Then I have what I like to call guest colors. I just have a basic gray-blue color that I'm going to use right there. And then it's also really hard to do this cadmium, to make this color, because we are using a limited palette. We just have 3 colors and a couple other accent colors. But this here is hard to make. So this is a deep cad yellow. Looks orange, but it'll be really bright and help us with the sunset. So with that, what I like to do is I look at my sketch. We could talk about the rule of thirds really quick. What I like to do is I'll make a little liquid, a little paint thinner. I'm using odorless Mona Lisa paint thinner. And so I like to mix the blue with the transparent red. And you want to kind of come up with something that's soupy. You don't want it real thin that it's going to run all over your canvas and make a mess. I like to paint neat. I don't know about you. I'm painting with an apron, makes my wife happy, because a lot of my clothes just had, they're covered with paint at this point. So anyway, so we talk about the rule of thirds. And so basically what that is, you divide your canvas up into thirds. And you want to pick, you don't want your focal point to be in the center. Although some people, they get away with that, but for the rule though, you want to stick one area or another that is off to the center. You just don't want that to be the main focal point. The other thing is, so I've made these marks on the canvas. If I ever make a mistake, it's oil paint. I just rub it off. I do that a lot. So if I'm painting a tree or something like that, I just scrub off the paint that I don't want. It usually comes up. And there you go, voila. All right, so we're looking at this. And I love how the ground area, so what this is, we got 2 palm trees. We got the sun rising in the background. And our horizon line is always the first part that I want to I want to know where my horizon line is. So let's go ahead and do that. That looks like it's right around that rule of third we were talking about. So there's the horizon line. And below it, there's like some patio chairs, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to add those or not. There's some bushes that were up front here. Get those sketched in. And then I'm looking at, I like to do marks. So here's the tops of the palm right here. It's going to kind of connect to a body here. Also, anytime I do trees, I like to go a little thinner than they actually are. So here's the top of the pine, because you could always thicken the palm tree, or any tree, but it is really hard to thin it. And plus, we got the sun behind us, so there's going to be quite a bit of warm glow hitting the sides of the palm trees. That's going to make it look thinner. See that? And we just sketched that with just a little bit of paint. And I'm still using what I call my drawing mix here. And we're basically just going to do a sketch using this. There we go. I'm not going to go into the individual palm fronds right now. I'm just painting an indication of where I want these to be. And I love this little piece coming in on the side. That's what we like to call an eye stopper, so your eye don't run off the side of the canvas. That's something really good. And right now I am just blocking in the shapes, getting everything set up here. So this tree is going to be in front of us. This one's in the distance. If the tree is going to be closer to us, so this will be a little darker. It'll be a little bit lighter for the tree in the background here. Get these palm fronds in. Here we go. I don't want to get a whole lot of detail because that's going to come in the finished painting. This area here with the dead palm fronds is, there's a lot of it, but I'm not going to make it as thick as I see in the photo, because it's a photo and you want to make it a painting. So if I want to make it a painting, I paint the way I want to. I want to paint what I see, what I visualize. And that's part of making it a little easier too. So I'm still doing this wash. So at this point, I'm just going to do a value study. I'm just going to shade this in back here. It's not a true no tan, but we call it a liberal no tan, or just a value study. There we go. It's going to get a little darker as it comes towards you. So I'm adding a little bit of blue, get more of those shadow colors. And there were some bushes down here that we're going to make dark. That'll probably be one of the darkest. This will also be another eye stopper. This liquid, really quick, I only add about 10%, so it doesn't alter any colors as I'm mixing, because it will alter it. It could also make your paints look a little glazy, and you don't want that while you're painting. So I put about 10%, just a little bit on my tip, and yeah, some people go a little heavier. They like that glaze, and if you do, that's fine. Go ahead, do it. So I'm going to get these bushes in here. And I like scrubbing my paint in. So you hear that? We're scrubbing. So basically I like to use hog brushes. That's too even, so that's going to bug me. So I think I'm going to extend this bush a little bit. So you want to use like a hog hair bristle brush, because you could really scrub with that. And when you finish, you want to use a synthetic brush, because it's a softer brush and it'll adhere to the paint that you've already scrubbed. So let's see. That is just about dry already. That's the paint thinner with the liquid. That's why I love it. So we got a little bit to do in the sky. So our bright part of the sky is right here. So I want to draw those clouds. So this area here, there's several colors of yellow and reds. And what I have found is I don't want to draw anything in that. I'm actually going to use the color themselves to draw. And then we'll get the clouds up here. I love these purples. The one thing you will notice as we are mixing color, this orange color that's in this area here is in the trees, it's in the clouds far away, even the bushes in the foreground, there's that orange color. It's not atmospheric, but we can go ahead and block that. It's not a true atmospheric painting. That's like if you're doing mountains far, but that sky color in this is just about in everything in this painting here, or it is actually. Make sure I keep my values right. And this is our dark part here. See how fast that dried? You could sketch this out. So when I teach classes, people are always, it's oil paint. It takes forever to dry. Well, not really. I just showed you right there in a couple minutes that paint was dry, and you can go ahead and get another layer on. There we go. Make sure that we have our values, our darks. These palm trees are going to be darker. These bushes are going to be darker. Yeah, I just want the indication of the palms right now. I am not going to add details. Make it a little darker down here. Then the blocking in part, that's the fun part. That's when it really comes together. So I like to come up with this, keep it simple while you're painting. Maybe you want to do a painting or two in a day. You want to give them away as gifts. Painting is just fun. It's relaxing. It's enjoyable. You can take it with you. I love plein air painting. I love studio painting. I love when someone opens one of my paintings as a gift, or it's someone in a gallery or art show that has made a purchase. It's very rewarding. But it takes time to learn, and so hopefully with this, you are just going to learn the simplicity that you can speed up your painting as you go along. No, we're not doing a Bob Ross style. No, we're not doing that. Although Bob was great, and I think all of us have watched his videos, some of the techniques you can use. So the brushes I'm using, this is a round brush. This is an old brush, and you can see the ends are, I've used this so many times, the ends have just worn off. I could almost do a whole painting with just this brush. I like a 1-inch flat. These are great. This bristle, I'll do a lot of blocking with this to scrub in. This I call the money brush. You can do a lot of grasses, trees with this brush right here. This is a great for finishing touches. Then I'm going to have just a small fine brush. And then I use this guy here. This is a rubber tip scraper to help with details in trees, bushes, or if I make a mistake, this is great to get the paint off. And then right here is the old trusty palette knife. I do have a larger one if I need that, but I like to have this small guy because I could use it almost anywhere in the painting. So we got our design. And what we want to do is we're going to try to focus into the sunset like you are actually here. We just want something fun and easy to get going. So my next step that I'm going to be doing, well, we got the colors, we got everything laid out. I want to go ahead, I like to pre-make my colors here. So we got this bright yellow here. That orange is going to be in everything, or deep cad. And right there, I just got a little bit of the liquid. Like I said, I try to keep it around 10%. Next to it, we are going to go ahead and come up with another orange. And if you have a color wheel or something like that, just follow the color wheel. We're going to go to a reddish orange right here. There's not a whole lot of red in here. And you'll actually see I'll use this color here, my drawing colors, to help with the colors in the canvas or with the painting itself. And I like that muddy look. I do not mix my colors so they're solid. I like to have a little bit of marbleizing. Here we go. So the green's going to be really deep, so I'm going to add some of that transparent red to it. A little bit of this raw umber here. Want something nice and dark. I got to keep a little bit of that orange in there. Okay, so I don't want to waste paint, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape off some of this here in the bushes to clean. When I paint, I like to have a glove on my left hand. I like to be able to feel the brushes and tools in my right hand, and I keep a paper towel in my left hand. That way I just clean as I go. Keeps it simple. So we got our guest color here, this gray blue. We're going to need quite a bit. So I'm going to make what I like to call a pool or a puddle of sky color. And there's going to be variations of that. I like to get all my variations together. You see, once you get all your colors mixed up and you're ready to go, this thing will really come together fast. And you will see. Plus, I just like mixing colors. I think it's really cool to be able to see the colors come together right before me. So I like the way that looks right there. I like that color a lot. So when I go to block in, I am going to keep these palm trees and these bushes in the foreground. I may actually add a little more here. But I'm going to focus on the background and I'm going to work forward. I basically like to work the sky first. And so that's what we are going to do right now. So I'm going to work this brush here, this 1-inch fan brush. And I'm just always mixing the whole time. So I want to draw in this. And a lot of times when I do sky, I'll actually go over it a second time because I may not be happy the first time when I do it. I'm kind of like building the sky. It also helps add depth. That's one reason why I like to do these little underpaintings instead of just going right into drawing it out in pencil or something like that. This adds an extra depth to your painting here, especially with the tinting too. So the thing I like about that is so you don't have to cover every square inch of the canvas, because some of this may show up, and if you have a white canvas, well, that'll really show through if you have color on it and you missed a spot. So that just helps alleviate that. So I am looking, if you're familiar with the prism, so we have like our brightest in this area here. It's going to go to an orange, to a red, a little bit red in this area here. There you go. And I'm going to add this little bit of orange in here. Now I'm just blocking in right now. I'm just throwing some basic colors down. And then it kind of gets a little deeper red, so I'm going to add a little red and liquid in here. And I think at the end of this video, if you are interested in this, I think we're going to be giving this painting away when we're done. So like I said, I just like to do the sky a couple times. The other thing, the thing I like about working this 1-inch brush, so I have lighter colors on one side, I have the deeper reds on the other side, and so I am going to keep working that just like that. Kind of like 2 brushes in one. How's that? There we go. My wife and I, we love going to the beach. Sunrises, sunsets, we love both. I grew up on the West Coast, so I got more sunsets. Growing up a Navy brat, living on Navy bases, we always had more of the sunsets on there. Okay, I am not happy with that color, so I'm going to go ahead and just scrub that out. Bam, just like that. You like that? I like using these shop paper towels too versus regular paper towels. These shop towels actually, the regular paper towels will leave little particles on your painting. And unless you're doing something super crazy texturized, I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to clean my brush, get started again here. All right, so I'm going to go into some of these cloud colors here. You hear me? You hear that? We are scrubbing. Scrubbing in color. Scrubbing in color. There we go. Scrub, scrub, scrub. And so this has a little bit of liquid in it too. I also like to leave little gaps that you could see. These little gaps here, I'll probably fill those in with darker and lighter colors. Or not. So looking at the composition, the clouds can play a part of your composition. So I like how I'm gonna go a little darker on the edges. That'll help lead the eye. So I'm gonna draw like, the Dutch masters were good at that, just not with cigars, but they also use sky and land to help draw your eye. And I like this color. I'm gonna pop a little bit of it down here, especially towards the edges. Help draw your eye. So if you do this painting and you give it to a family member for a present, there's something about receiving original art as a present. I like to paint so that you can have affordable original art hanging on your wall. There's just something about original art. I wish everybody had one. Maybe we could do like a national push and get everybody to have original art on the wall. I like that. There you go. All right, now we're going to add in some of this, that gray blue, a little bit of purple mixed into the sky in the background here. That'll really help push these clouds forward. There we go. Try to stop that from wiggling. This is actually my plein air setup because I do love plein air painting, and we'll do some plein air videos as well. So the one thing about the blue in the sky, it's always going to be a little darker on top, and then as you come closer to the horizon, it will lighten. So I'm going to make that just a hair darker. There we go. And then I'm going to flip the brush over, try to get a little lighter color here. And if you get a little bit of that green on that brush, that's okay. That green is part of the spectrum. It's also part of your color wheel. I recommend you get a color wheel. So if you're looking at sunsets, I know this has a lot of color in it. I said we will probably come back, or I always will. I like to do the sky twice. But get a color wheel. Have it handy. If you use a paper palette or something like that, this usually comes on the inside. That's where this is. This is the inside of a paper palette. You can make one yourself. That's a good study to do. But the more you know about what colors and how they work, I think it'll help you a lot in your painting. So the background here, the horizon, is kind of the brownish color with a little bit of this sky color. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that. Make sure I'm using this liquid here. And basically we are scrubbing in color. So if you're looking into the sun, the part that is the brightest will have more of that sky color in there. Here we go. That nice warm glow going on there. We're going to get some of the glow on the trees as well. So we're moving a little forward. I'm going to pull some of that green and cover this area. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add these chairs that are in the photo or not. This was right before the sun came up. And for me, it was just the beauty of just the glow in the sky. Here we go. So as it comes closer to us, it is going to get a little darker. There we go, just like that. And I don't just want to lay like one flat line. I like to mix it up, make it choppy, different crosshatch like that. But just don't go. Some people do that, but I don't. I like to add some, I don't know, some interest. So to me, that's what makes it interesting. So the bushes here in the foreground are going to be part of our darkest part. We have a lot of yellow here, so the complementary color to yellow is purple. So in this green mix, I've mixed in some red and blue to come up with a purple. Little subtleties like this is really what makes a painting pop, just having a little bit of that. There you go. Like I said, I didn't like how it just looked like two mounds there. I'm going to go ahead and get some of this scrubbed in here. There we go. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Maybe add a little bit of in here. So we will go back over with our finishing brushes here. All righty. Now I'm going to get to these palm trees. With these here, this area here is closest to the yellow light. So when you look at it, this trunk here, this part of the trunk is really orange, like an orange-brown color. And this is why I love having all my colors pre-mixed. I can just go right at what I'm seeing, no delays. So I'm gonna go ahead, I got some orange there. Then I'm gonna follow the spectrum. So we're gonna add a little red as it gets away from that. Because the closest to that glow is gonna have that orangey color. I like to break that horizon line just a little bit. Adds interest. Here we go. And going to do the same thing over here, except it's not as dramatic. So I'm going to have just a little bit of orange. And then I'm going to go into the reds a little bit. And I'm painting sideways. I like to do bark sideways versus straight up and down when I'm actually painting. When I'm sketching, it's okay to do that. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Try to get some of the purple here going. Part of the spectrum. There we go. All right. Let me finish this trunk. A little darker down here. It's just something fun painting with this big brush. All right. So now we got this area. I'm going to kind of fan it out. This is where they've cut away some of the palm fronds. Right here. And we're going to do that over here. little bit more orange on the top. It's blending nicely with that sky color, but I like to have a little bit of orange over that because it's further away, so as things are further away, they're going to be a little bit brighter or lighter because of that sky color. And right here, I'm still using that dark green. Add a little, just mix as I go. I could just sit out here all day painting palm trees and mixing color. I love going trail riding as well and sitting on the side of a mountain and doing a paint or catching a stream. The thing I like also about this brush is it'll help keep things soft. So when we go into the final touches to the painting, we will already have a good base here. Here we go. And I believe at the end of the video, you'll be able to see me paint this from the beginning to the end in fast time. So funny painting palm trees. All right. So now the next part that I like to do, get this brush all clean. Gonna grab the magic brush, make sure it's nice and dry. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of just lightly blend all this together. And I'm working from the brighter to the darker. So I'm just hitting all the light areas right now. There we go. Boom. Then I'll get into the oranges. So we got the white to the orange. And it's just softening it, blending it. To me, making it look more natural. There we go. Maybe hit a little bit of the, I like that. See how that's coming? Like the light glowing right off of that, like that. That's what I love about painting. There's no particular way. It's like almost every painting I do is a discovery. I'm gonna hit the orange up here. Love how that's coming together. I do some vertical brush strokes. Kind of get that blending into the purple sky a little bit. There we go. Now I'm into the red. Oh, actually I'm going to hit some of this orange right down here. I kind of missed that. It's all right. Just paint. Then I'm going to soften this red. I may come over with a little orange on that red. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a little stark. We'll see. I may blend that out a little bit. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go into the purple. I'm going to blend that into the sky color. I like to do that. I don't like to blend the sky color over the clouds. I like to blend the clouds into the sky color. Yeah, I'm really liking how this looks. And I like how little pieces of the sky or the tinted canvas is showing through. Now, if I'm doing like a dark cloudy day, I may paint the canvas tinted in a gray color. Sometimes if I'm just doing like a water study, water painting, I'll tint the canvas a little bluer. It's all about just making the whole process just a little bit simpler, right? Okay, clean this brush here. See how we got this little grassy area? I'm just going to go ahead and just hit this up a little bit. Not necessarily blending, as just dragging the brush a little bit. Do want to make, when we talk about eye stoppers, I'm going to make this a little darker here. But the further away, there's not much detail. So I try not to let little pieces of the brush, because this brush will make real fine grass marks. So if it's further away, I don't want to see those grass marks. It's great for doing big old oak trees and stuff like that. There we go. I like that glow coming through here. I'm going to get a hair darker because it's coming toward you. Make sure you're leaving little gaps to show the trees. I'm keeping it darker on the edges and a little bit lighter. I want to draw you in this area right here with this glow. So I don't want it too dark right there. And going to go add a little blue, a little bit of red, make a purpley green color here. All right, you made these colors yourself. Isn't that cool? You don't have to go buy 100 tubes of paint, especially if you're out plein air painting. Just make your own color. Keeping it dark. There we go. All right. Nice and soft. Okay, I'm going to say we're pretty much blocked in at this point right here. And so now I'm going to go into some little bit of detail into the trees and see if we can't bring that to life. Because if you look at the photo, everything around the trees is soft, and then you have the trees have a lot of the dark details in it. All right, so now I'm actually going to go back to my round brush because I can go wide with it, or I could use the tip. And I'm going to get into that dark greeny purple color and make me a nice warm, add a little sky color to it. Ooh, that's too much. Okay. I have to go back to that transparent red, some raw umber. There you go. I like a dark, warm color on this. All right, so here we go. Looking at where these little fingers are to the palm fronds. There. A little clump of paint, and look what I just did. I just mushed it into the canvas there. So I like to do it like a little at a time. I'm not going to do the individual palm fronds right now. Although it kind of looks, you know, you're kind of brushing it out. But when we get that palette knife, we'll hit the edges of that. Okay, I may bring this down just a little bit. There we go. A little darker there. So this side of the palm tree, the right side will be a little bit darker than the light. So I'll come back, add a little bit of highlights on that side. Right now I just want to get this dark area in the palm trees blocked in. I love this palm tree. You don't see. I'm going to make it a little more prominent here. There we go. Just adds a little bit of interest to that. I love this curve right there. And it just kind of fans out. Look at that. See, palm trees aren't that difficult. That's one of the, I get asked all the time, how do you do these palm trees? You just build it. You study the tree, you find where a curve is, how that works, and you just really paint what you see. And that's what's great about doing plein air painting. I think plein air painting has helped me more than anything else as far as if you truly want to see something, do some plein air painting. All righty. Okay. I'm gonna get this fine tip brush here. And I am just gonna hit parts of the trunk on the outside. I said I don't like going total vertical, but I do want little, I'm gonna go down and then kind of fan it out a little bit. And so the sun's this way, going out like this. So this side of the tree, I know I said that, but I'm gonna say it again. All right, that'll be the dark side right there. There we go. Don't want to go too dark because you got that glow going on. So in that, I'm going to add a little red. And just hit that on this side here. And then right in the center of that, I'm going to add a little orange. It may be a hair darker than I want, but I'm going to show you something. One of my favorite tools here. Alrighty. This little guy right here, check it. I could just drag this. It'll just blend it into the tree there. Love that. So if I have a mistake and it's too dark, I don't like it, this little thing will pull the paint out. Now you do got to kind of wipe as you go. Here we go. This thing is also great for scratching in details. So you have one side's kind of wide and then there's a fine tip. This is available at every art store. Get like a pack of 3 of these for 10 bucks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just scratch. You can scratch in a couple little, where the dead area the palm fronds are. There we go. And scratch that in. Right there. Hit that. Hey, pretty cool little tool. I like it. All right, so now the palm fronds themselves. Take your palette knife, just like Bob Ross used to say, just put a little bit on the edge there and just pull it down. You just make some interesting marks here. Don't want to go too tall. The ones in the center of a palm tree, they don't fan out. Sometimes they do, depending on which way the wind's blowing. But for the most part, they don't. And there's little twigs and pieces, and I should get all that in. I love finishing with a palette knife. There we go. Keep it a little darker on the side there. You could just spend all hour. You could spend an hour just playing with the palette knife on this. So this kind of curves. The other thing you can do, you get like a pool on your palette knife. You could just set it down, one stroke, and then you got enough paint with the tip. You could just keep dragging like that. And it'll make nice looking palm fronds. There you go. That's one thing to do. I like adding things it just keeps it interesting. I like how this kind of fans out. So I'm gonna put a little pool there. Kind of fan that out. There we go. Just adding some interest right here. That guy off to the side don't need a whole lot. See, I didn't mean to do that, but I like it. How's that? Make it your own. Make it your own. I hope you're learning. because this really, to me, this process just simplifies everything for me. So now on the horizon down here, we got that orange. I'm going to add a little bit of green to it. I like how we've made all these colors. See how that is? Yep, I like that. We're just going to scratch in some stuff on the horizon line there. See, I like how that works. Pull it down, go side to side, scrape. We want to keep this area bright. So when we blocked in the color, I mean, that's really, that's like a filler. This is the magic right here. I like to, that's too dark right there. See if I can scrape that up. Ah, I like that. Boom. Yep, I think I'll just go ahead. That was a little dark, so I'll just scrape that up too. There we go. What is it? Looks like sand dunes to me. All right, and keep adding that color. So the tops of this right here, it's pretty green, and we want to capture that glow. So I have a little bit of that orange with the green mix. We're going to lay down some of that. There we go. All right. These corners here, I'm going to go like the darkest purplish green I got. Just kind of scrub that in. Just going up. And you see as the paint is being laid, one part is laying the paint, one part is scratching texture. I like that. And this is like a purple green, so this will help draw the eye in here. There we go. A little bit down in this area here. So we're applying paint pretty thick right now. I lost that glow there, don't like that. The other thing you can do, you get some of that paint in there, put it somewhere else. There you go. I didn't like that, so I'm going to cover it up. There we go. I like it when I look across the room and I know exactly what it is, and you walk up to it. And with this palette knife, you add so much interest to a painting that almost people have to come up and look at the masterful work you did with the palette knife. I like that. There you go. Add some more dark air. All right. I'm going to go back to this fine finishing brush here. Make sure that it is nice and clean. And I'm going to hit some highlights in the sky here. There we go. Now you want to go a little bit thicker. I am going to add a little bit of, try to find a clean spot there of the liquid. And I want to hit this area here. I don't want to make it clumpy. You could show brush strokes, but I don't want to make it clumpy. If I see I have a clump, I want to kind of smooth it out. There you go. That's why I like to do a sky twice. Really, I don't know, adds a layer of depth that I really like in my paintings. There we go. Maybe just a little bit. This is the part I like to call sparkle. Yes, we are adding sparkle to the painting. And so what I'm looking for is like, so if I have yellow here, yellow, orange, how can I just add that little bit, like right in the, there's like a little bit of sun coming through there, like that. Go on the horizon line, has some beautiful orange. But yeah, this part is what I call sparkle. The finishing touches, that's what it is. It's sparkle. I'm going to hit that horizon line. I like some of that orange. So watch this. There you go. Just going to pull it down. I like that. So I like is the edge of the clouds here, the purple with the orange. I just want to add a little bit in here. And why not throw a couple specks of that orange on the bottom of the palm fronds that are facing the sun. Maybe even a little part of a trunk there. I'm rolling the paint so it's kind of not just all one solid line down here. All right, got the orange, so it's further away, so I'm add a little bit of red to that orange. Hit a little bit, it's too dark. Don't like that. There you go, like that. So the sun's coming up, capturing that. There's a little speck of orange in the tree here and there. Like something right there. A little bit up here. So one more time, I'm grabbing the magic brush. And I just want to kind of blend the sky a little bit. So I'm going to hit again, hitting the brighter areas first. I'm going to drag that down a little more. Try to create more of a glow here. There we go. I'm just going to wipe it off and let the brush do the work. Try to keep it dry and the paint that's already on the canvas. That's why I like calling this the magic brush. There you go. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of orange, like a darker orange. Just kind of hit this a little bit. Soften these edges a little bit. Just blend. I pull down some of that sky color in the palm trees there. I'm going to blend just a little bit. So in the sky, for water reflection and blending, I do a lot of vertical brushes, and water, I do a lot of horizontal brush strokes. Here we go. So with this, I'm going to say I hope you learned something with this video today. Yeah, we're just trying to share, you know, oil painting does not have to be that difficult. You can have fun with it, and I could just sit here and just blend the sky. I just have a lot of fun with that. Palette knives and blending, I tell you what, you know, get me a Christmas present. Blending brush and a palette knife. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead, scratch my name here. I'm going to sign a little MD Mills. How's that? There you go. With that, we're going to call it done. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. We're going to show you how you can take this video home and share with your friends, and maybe do a paint party at your house. That'll be fun. And if you want to invite me, that'd be better yet. How's that? All right, have a great day from Studio North 32 Productions here in Savannah, Georgia. I want to thank you and hopefully catch you in another video soon. All right, have a great day, y'all.